Hello everyone, it's Recap Maestro again. Please sit down comfortably and let's begin. Today we all talk about the movie Don't Worry Darling. The action takes place on the territory of the United States of America in the 50s of the last century. Jack and Alice live in an ideal area enjoying special luxury. At the dinner table they always have a juicy steak, they drive an expensive car and they have everything what they need. Apart from them, there are of course married couples, with whom the main characters maintain friendly relations every day. Jack, along with the rest of the men, leave to the desert for work, and Alice and other women stay at home for housekeeping. They take care of the comfort, preparing delicious food and waiting for the return of their spouses. Women know practically nothing about the work of their husbands. The only thing they know is the existence of some secret project called Victory, and what exactly their loved ones do, they don't know. However, this does not bother anyone, because there are only two rules: not to ask many questions and not to enter the desert that surrounds this town. It's considered that if you leave a safe place, it means that they put their lives in incredible danger. At their free time, girlfriends, Alice, Bunny and Peg go to the ballet club and shop in a luxury store. Before, they were also friends with another housewife, however she got some mental problems, therefore, their communication was reduced to a minimum. It turns out that she took her own son to the desert, thereby deliberately endangering his life. As a result, the boy died. However, Margaret is sure that she was punished for her curiosity. One day all the locals went to the party arranged by Frank and his wife Sheila. He is the most powerful person here. It is for him that the rest of the men work. Everyone is having fun and enjoying the celebration. But after a few moments Margaret appears, who tells one unusual phrase: "We don't belong here." No one really paid attention to this. However, Alice reacted disturbed to her words. Then she sees how Margaret's husband takes her to the back of the room and tries to give her medicine. Alice is confused and tries to tell Jack about everything, but he does not allow her to speak out. When Alice was preparing dinner, she noticed that the chicken eggs inside are empty. She does not believe her eyes and decides to calm down. Having gone to the city, the heroine gets on a tram and makes several circles. Soon Alice sees a plane that crashed high in the mountains. Knowing that it is strictly forbidden to go there, she still goes there because the pilot may need help. Once she is at the top of the mountain, she discovers a building in the form of a dome. Alice tries to call for help and touching the window she hallucinates. She does not know what is happening, and after a moment she loses her consciousness. Then she wakes up in her house and hears Jack doing something in the kitchen. She was surprised because her husband never came so early, besides she does not remember how she appeared here after. I asked Jack, what did he see? When he arrived home, she did not receive any answers to her questions, because Jack said that she had already been here, and he did not believe in her stories about the plane. Gradually the heroine's life turns into a nightmare of hallucinations and paranoid thoughts. Soon in the classroom ballet, she sees something strange in the mirror. Image of Margaret's death. Then she decides to talk to the girl and goes to her house. But Margaret, standing on the roof, cuts her throat and falls down. People in red suddenly appear and drag the heroine away from the corpse. Waiting for her husband from work, Alice decides to talk with him, expressing his assumptions and fears. However, he does not believe her words. The man convinces her that everything she tells is the result of shock, that Margaret in fact was washing the windows and just stumbled. Besides that, Dr. Collins, who is Frank's partner, confirms Jack's version. He prescribes a sedative to Alice and at the same time, she notices in his bag a document with an inscription, "Security Risk." The girl decides to steal it in order to find out the truth. However, she was unable to read the notes and get closer to unraveling. Alice is confused. If she is really going crazy, she doesn't have an exact answer to this. So, she decides to find out the truth by all means. The next day all the inhabitants of the town go to a party dedicated to the Victory. At some point, Alice realizes that she can no longer be in the company of these people and asks Jack to go home. However, he does not listen to her because Frank appoints him as his partner and this event is extremely important for him. Unable to keep her emotions anymore, Alice goes to the lady's room, then her friend Bunny enters after her. She tries to find out from Alice what is happening to her. Then the girl tells her about all her assumptions and thoughts, but her friend does not believe her and she suggests to put all these nonsenses out of her head, return to the hall and join other guests, and be happy about Jack's promotion. After few days, Alice and her husband invite neighbors for a visit except Bunny. They also called Frank and his wife. While Jack was busy having a small talk with friends, Frank came into Alice's kitchen. He knows about her conversation with Bunny and transparently hints that she is right about her assumptions. However, she still cannot figure it all out. Shocked by the directness of the head of Victory, Alice decides to bring him to clean water right at the table. It turns out that most married couples have the same history of dating. They spent their honeymoons in the same places and were even born in the same cities. The heroine tries to open their eyes to the truth, but no one believes her. Everyone thinks she's crazy, like Margaret. When all the guests have gone home, Alice is once again trying to talk to Jack. She begs him only for one thing, is to leave this place as soon as possible. Her husband agreed to leave this place and she went to collect all the necessary things. However, once in the car, it became clear that he was not going to leave. Jack gave it up, allowing people in red suits to take his beloved away. Dr. Collins, along with close colleagues, subjects Alice to electroshock therapy, and in between the torment, the heroine sees her former life, which was her reality. It turns out that she is an experienced surgeon who worked full-time to put that food on the table, because Jack was unemployed. After a while, Alice returns to Jack's house. She does not remember the last events, but the hallucinations are still torment her. And when everyone decided that everything is fine with her, Alice remembers the truth. The fact is that the Victory is the simulation of this world that Frank once created. It turns out that Jack knew about everything. Moreover, it was he who forced her to become part of a fictional world against her will. When Jack realized that Alice knows everything, he decided to try to keep her. The guy swears that he did it for their own good so that there is an opportunity to live an ideal life. Alice is horrified and does not know what to do now. Jack talks about the conditions of the membership in this community. Turns out to be that husbands take responsibility for their wives, deliberately forcing them to enter the simulation. People here are real as just that their real bodies are in a kind of coma under the influence of unusual lenses. Alice wants to return to normal life, but Jack does not let her go, squeezing her tightly in his arms. Then to free herself, the girl grabs a glass and hits her husband, after which Jack falls dead on the floor. Meanwhile, Frank is informed that Jack is dead and he sends his people after Alice. The girl has practically no time left, because the sound alarm has already been heard on the streets. Bunny enters Alice's house and asks her to run away. It turns out that her friend knows about the simulation. She consciously chose this life, because here she has children whom she lost in reality. Bunny is trying to explain that Jack died not only in this world but also in the real, so it means that no one can turn her off from the simulation. She urgently needs to get out of place. Going out into the street in a bloody dress, she noticed that the other husbands began to panic. Then other women began to understand everything. Meanwhile, Frank was talking on the phone. Shelley decided to kill him. She wants to regain control of her mind, so she had no other choice. Alice guesses that to return to reality she needs to get to the top of the mountain, to the very building. She gets into Jack's car and tries to escape. After her immediately begins chase, because they do not want her to return to the real world, as they will lose her forever. The girl managed to get to the top. However, before taking the last step she sees Jack. He asks her to stay. But the girl no longer wants to live in a world of illusions. Alice touches the window, thereby leaving the simulation. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to support us with likes and subscribes, and please write in the comment which movie you would like to see next.